Are the Iraqi dinar and Vietnamese dong poised for revaluation in 2025? By Dinar and Dong Updates. The buzz surrounding the Iraqi dinar, IQD, and Vietnamese dong, VND, has returned with renewed intensity, fueling conversations in global financial circles. For over a decade, speculation has ebbed and flowed about whether these two currencies might undergo a dramatic revaluation. While past predictions have failed to materialize, recent developments have led many to believe that 2025 could finally be the year when these long-discussed shifts become reality. What's triggering this new wave of speculation? A combination of insider reports, institutional behavior, and improving economic fundamentals in both Iraq and Vietnam is sparking cautious optimism among currency holders and analysts alike. The spark. Behind the new momentum. At the heart of the latest excitement are claims from various sources within the currency investment community. According to numerous reports, some major U.S. banks, particularly Wells Fargo, may be quietly making internal preparations for a possible revaluation event involving the IQD and VND. Although these claims are unconfirmed, the chatter suggests that system upgrades, employee training, and infrastructure adjustments are taking place behind the scenes. Notably, Chase Bank and HSBC have also been named as institutions rumored to be involved in similar activities. None of these banks have issued public statements to confirm their involvement, but the widespread nature of the reports is drawing increasing attention. Many investors interpret this institutional silence not as denial, but as a strategic decision to manage expectations while quietly preparing for potential developments. Digital platforms show subtle clues. Additional intrigue has been stirred by the appearance of IQD and VND indicators on trading apps and financial platforms. While it's true that currency codes can appear as placeholders without indicating immediate action, the growing frequency of their appearance is raising eyebrows. For example, certain financial systems have displayed test rates or valuation placeholders that some speculate are early signals of possible new exchange rates. While not definitive, such technical cues are being viewed by many as breadcrumbs that support the idea of a pending shift. Financial institutions rarely make back-end changes to accommodate low-volume or inactive currencies unless there's a forecast of future demand. For this reason, analysts are watching these system updates closely. Economic conditions. Supporting the possibility. Beyond speculation and system changes, the real strength of the revaluation argument lies in the improving economic conditions of both Iraq and Vietnam. Iraq, building a stronger financial base. In recent years, Iraq has made strides in stabilizing its economy. The Central Bank of Iraq, CBI, has amassed over $100 billion in foreign currency reserves, an important indicator of national fiscal health. At the same time, the country's oil sector continues to thrive, generating significant revenue that the government is channeling into public infrastructure, services, and economic reform. Iraq has also seen increased foreign investment and major contracts with global companies, demonstrating renewed international confidence in its future. These developments suggest that the country is laying the groundwork for a more stable and stronger currency. Vietnam, a manufacturing powerhouse on the rise. Meanwhile, Vietnam continues to grow as a critical global manufacturing hub. Its exports of electronics, textiles, and agricultural goods have cemented trade relationships with major economies like the United States and European Union. This has driven up GDP and created consistent economic growth. Vietnam is also investing heavily in financial modernization, particularly in digital payment infrastructure, which further boosts the VND's standing on the global stage. These steps are viewed as essential foundations for any meaningful revaluation of the dong. Industry figures add fuel to the fire. Prominent voices in the IQD and VND communities are amplifying the growing speculation. Notably, individuals like Frank 26 and Mark Zid, well-known figures among currency enthusiasts, have commented on the potential for a revaluation. Frank 26 has linked the rumored actions of major banks to what he refers to as a broader global currency reset, GCR, while Mark Zid has cited unconfirmed test rates for the dinar reaching as high as $400 and the dong approaching $2.89. Both stress that these figures are speculative and should not be taken as official rates, but their statements reflect the increasing conviction among some that preparations are underway. Institutional readiness, a key indicator. If large banks like Wells Fargo are truly preparing for major currency shifts, that would be a significant indicator of institutional involvement and serious planning. Unlike individual investors or small groups, global banks have the reach, regulatory relationships, and technological infrastructure to facilitate mass currency exchanges. Such institutions would not make these moves lightly. If true, it would imply coordination with central banks and oversight from bodies like the International Monetary Fund, IMF, or Bank for International Settlements, BIS. This level of engagement would dramatically change the perception of the RV narrative, from fringe theory to feasible event. What currency holders should do now. For those holding IQD, or VND, the current environment presents both opportunity and risk. Staying informed is critical. Here's how to navigate the evolving landscape. Rely on reliable sources. Monitor statements from credible institutions like the Central Bank of Iraq, State Bank of Vietnam, or major global banks. Avoid getting drawn into unverified rumors on social media or forums. Keep banking details up to date. Ensure your accounts with banks like Wells Fargo, HSBC, or Chase are active and ready in case any developments unfold. It's also wise to understand each bank's foreign currency exchange policies. Consult with professionals. Meet with a certified financial advisor or tax specialist to explore how a sudden increase in wealth might affect your financial planning or obligations. Avoid scams. Stay vigilant. Do not send currency or personal information to anyone promising early exchanges, special rates, or insider access. Reputable exchanges will follow legal protocols. Be patient. Even with growing signs, a currency revaluation is a complex, multifaceted process that involves economic readiness, political stability, and international coordination. Don't expect overnight change. Potential global implications of an RV. If a revaluation does occur, the impact would be felt well beyond individual investors. A stronger IQD or VND could attract greater levels of foreign direct investment, FDI, which in turn could fuel development and boost economic credibility in Iraq and Vietnam. Regionally, this might encourage other nations in the Middle East and Southeast Asia to follow suit with economic reforms and currency stabilization efforts. On a global scale, such shifts could challenge the long-standing dominance of the US dollar as the world's primary reserve currency. While that transition would not happen immediately, a stronger dinar and dong could contribute to a gradual move toward a more multipolar financial system, where multiple currencies share global prominence. Challenges still ahead. Despite the promising signs, there are significant hurdles that must be overcome before any revaluation could become official and sustainable. Political stability. Iraq's internal politics remain fragile, and any turmoil could derail economic progress. Inflation control. Both countries must ensure that rising currency values do not trigger domestic inflation that undermines consumer purchasing power. International oversight. Institutions like the IMF, World Bank, and World Trade Organization, WTO, would likely need to be involved in managing a smooth transition. Market trust. The global financial system must have confidence in the long-term strength of the revalued currencies. Final thoughts. A time for informed optimism. While there is still no official confirmation that a revaluation of the Iraqi dinar or Vietnamese dong is imminent, the increasing convergence of economic strength, institutional rumors, and financial infrastructure updates is hard to ignore. The year 2025 could indeed mark a significant chapter in the long-running speculation around these currencies. Yet, until formal announcements are made, the wisest path forward is one of cautious optimism. For investors, that means staying informed, avoiding emotional decisions, and preparing prudently for all possibilities. If the whispers coming from the world's financial institutions prove true, then we may be on the verge of one of the most talked about currency events in modern history.